Hi everyone, welcome back to Java 1 for All. And in this video, we are going to talk a little bit more about the return. So in the previous class, we have this if, basically checking if the second number, that's the one we are going to use to divide, is 0. But there are a couple more ways to solve this same problem. And this is how development works. Every developer, they will think differently. So for example, in the previous class, I used the check to see if number 2 is equals to 0, just kind of stop and do not do the processing. But there are different ways to do this. So I will just copy this method and divide to number 0, 2. And just show you, for example, we can change the business logic and achieve the same results. One of the results, for example, could be adding else. So adding else will work exactly the same way. So if I go back to my calculator test03 and I just add the one inside the system println 02, we will get the same result. So if it's different than 0, we will get 10. And if it is 0, we will get 0. So basically, this will achieve the same result as this one. The difference is, well, if I take a look, this looks a bit cleaner than the second one. So we can remove this one and keep like this. Another thing that could be changed as well is the business logic inside the if. So now, if the number 2 is different than 0, I would like to do the math. And then I would like to return 0 if it is not. So basically, if number 2 is different than 0, do the math, and if it is not, we are going to return 0. So it is the same, is going to achieve the same result, but just a little bit different. So it depends. You will see, actually this is my own style. I prefer to do the validations and just stop right there at the beginning of the code, then do the code, and then if something doesn't work, if it's not the condition we are looking for, return. So my way of developing is this one, but either way is correct because we are achieving the same results. Now another thing is that is one specific use for the return when we are having no return types. So let's just copy this one. Actually, let's create a new one. Public, and we'll use void print to numbers divided. So now I would like to print two numbers. So I know that if the number 2 is 0, we are going to have infinity. So I would like to add one check. So if number 2 is, let's say, different than 0, I'm going to south num1 divided by, num2. And then what happens if, well, we can do different. We can do equals. If it is equals 0, I will say, hey, can divide by 0. And then I will just add here num1 divided by num2. Okay, so now that we have this, I'm going to my calculator test. I will show you, for example, if you have a void method, you cannot add that void method inside println. Println needs something to work with, to print into the console. So basically, you can never use a method that has no return type inside a println. In this case, since we are printing there, we can just remove this one. Okay, so now if number 2 equals to 0, can divide by 0. And then we have the line number 35. So I will just add here one line to divide, and then I will execute Shift F10 or Control Shift F10, and we have can divide by 0, but we also have infinity. Well, this is happening because there is no breaking point. We cannot use break because we are not inside a switch statement or a loop statement. We have to think about something to kind of avoid this line being executed if this line was executed before. One way is using else. So by using else, if we execute again, Shift F10, we have here now can divide by 0, and as you can see, this is not executed. That's the behavior of if and else. The else is going to execute if the if is not executed. But there is another way, and let's say you would like to stop the execution by the time you reach this line, but you cannot add return 0 because you are saying that there is no return type. Basically, what I have to do, you can use return as a break, kind of as a break here. And you can only use return like this if you are inside a method that returns void, because if you do like this in a method that expects a return type, you are going to get compilation error. So doing this way, instead of having if and else, you just break the line on 34 and say when you reach here, just go back to whoever is calling. So if I debug, you will see this is true. It's going to print can divide by 0, and then it will return to whoever is calling. So basically the same way that we can achieve if and else, but now we just have like kind of a breaking point into your own method. Okay, I think that's everything that I wanted to tell you regarding this topic. So I see you in the previous class. Oh, see you in the next class. Bye.